Imagine waking up every morning feeling chained, not by iron or steel, but by invisible rules that tell you who you're supposed to be, what you're allowed to do, and how you're supposed to live. The world whispers to you that you're free, but hands you 1,000 rulebooks signed by yesterday's thinkers, yesterday's leaders, yesterday's limits. This is the cage most don't even know they're trapped in, the illusion of freedom that suffocates the fire burning inside you. That fire, dear founder, investor, professional, or leader, is the key. It wants to roar, but it's been silenced too long by comfort, by conformity, by systems that reward the mediocre while ignoring the exceptional. The burning question is, what if that fire could create something nobody ever dared to imagine? Something unstoppable, something powerful, something that changes everything. Could the world's first $100 billion social enterprise rise from those ashes this decade? The pain is real, and it's everywhere. A storm of problems surrounds those who aim to build social enterprises that matter. The world is flooded with companies chasing profits, careless of people or planet. Social entrepreneurs find doors slammed in their faces, not because their ideas lack potential, but because the system isn't designed to reward the revolutionary. Investors hesitate, stuck in old frameworks blinded by short-term gain and risk aversion. Leaders feel isolated. The network of truly aligned, committed individuals is thin, scattered across continents, their brilliance unseen or misunderstood. The rare don't just dodge the ordinary, they're left swimming alone in a sea of sameness. The social impact sector is painfully fragmented, drowning in noise, trends, and shallow metrics, barely scratching the surface of systemic change. Yet underneath that noise, the hunger runs deep. Hunger for purpose that pays, for work that heals, for organizations that don't just survive, but shift the entire culture of business. The world's greatest social enterprise won't just be big because it's clever or lucky. It will be colossal because it breaks every rule that used to say success couldn't also be meaning. So how can that $100 billion dream be more than fantasy? It starts with rejecting the idea that social good comes second to profit. It begins with recalibrating the whole game, rewiring what it means to win. Real size, real power in this space won't come from more shallow impact reports, more checkbox certifications, or superficial gestures. It will sprout from a rare breed of founders and investors who don't just want to play the system, they want to remap it. What's invisible but absolutely critical? The network. Not just a loose collection of good intentions, but a tight, autonomous web of truth-tellers, rebels, visionaries, and executors fiercely aligned on what matters most. People who know that the future won't bend to mass-market appeal alone, but will rise from the edge, the outliers, the pioneers unafraid of being misunderstood. Because true progress doesn't come from the comfortable center. It crackles from the borders, where discomfort sharpens ideas and passion explodes into innovation. Here's the secret nobody talks about enough. To build a colossal social venture, you must first cultivate radical clarity about your purpose. Not some generic mission statement, but deep, unrelenting, sometimes brutal honesty about why you exist and what you will never compromise on. This clarity becomes your navigation star in the chaos. It repels the noise, the distractions, the shortcuts tempting you to dilute your power. Every $100 billion enterprise begins with founders who dare to embrace contradiction, who burn with fierce conviction, but also listen deeply, who reject the fake dichotomy between profit and impact, who see both as part of a full solution, a stronger unity yet to be revealed. These founders create businesses that don't settle for incremental change. They architect transformation, so sweeping it rewrites the DNA of entire markets. But purpose alone is still not enough. Building that monstrous, groundbreaking social enterprise means mastering connection beyond networking. The world is littered with lonely social entrepreneurs chasing dollars in isolation. The rare secret worth fighting for is this: the future demands collaboration, not as a buzzword, but as a lifeline, forged with precision and depth. You must find your tribe, not by chance, but by ruthless selection. Align with those few who burn like you do, who challenge and complement your strengths, who push your thinking and practice beyond complacency. This isn't a crowd that welcomes everyone. It's selective, fierce, and focused. Here, isolated brilliance becomes collective power, where misfits, visionaries, and skeptics drop their masks and build trust brutal and beautiful enough to launch worlds. This autonomous network is the sole infrastructure the system forgot to build, the backbone on which $100 billion social dreams ride. The next layer is resilience. Let's be honest, this path is brutal. Everyone will tell you it can't be done. You'll hit walls of skepticism, exhaustion, and failure so deep you'll question your own sanity. The reality is this: the 9 to 5, play it safe mentality is death to extraordinary ventures. What's needed instead is ruthless patience and an eternal mindset. The goal isn't quick spikes of success or viral moments. It's the slow, grinding, often lonely journey of becoming. The world rewards the long game, those who resist collapse under pressure, who are willing to evolve, adapt, and keep the fire alive through decades. This is why the future $100 billion social enterprise won't come from those chasing quick wins or glory. It will come from founders and investors devoted to the mission for life, who treat the enterprise as a living organism needing constant care, change, and growth. Speaking of growth, capital is often the most misunderstood piece. It's not just money, it's the medium of transformation. The trap many founders fall into is chasing traditional funding that demands conformity, compromises that fracture purpose. The new breed understands capital must be a tool that fuels vision, not shackles it. That means reimagining investment relationships, from transactional to relational, from controlling to catalytic. Investors' terrain mapping the edges look for alignment of values, shared risk, and a partnership mentality that props founders rather than breaks them. The future belongs to those who reject the old scripts of investor-founder power plays and instead build ecosystems where money is oxygen, flowing freely but with intention, enabling ventures to stretch boundaries without losing their soul. At every level, technology won't just be a support, it will be a supercharger. But not gadgets for gadgets' sake. The tech driving this revolution is human-centered, designed to amplify individual freedom, boost authentic connection, and unlock massive scalability without sacrificing integrity. Imagine systems that reward transparency, collaboration, and social impact as much as revenue. This isn't some utopian fantasy. It's already dawning in pockets where social innovation and blockchain, AI, and decentralized networks blend into completely new modes of enterprise that invite everyone to be both participant and beneficiary. The $100 billion social enterprise will wield technology not as a tool of control, but as an enabler of liberation. Now, none of this magic happens in isolation. It happens because enough individuals refuse to accept the comfortable story of the world as it is. Because a critical mass stops playing by the old rules and steps into their full sovereignty and power. The moment you commit to this mindset, ruthlessly questioning everything, shedding old identities, rejecting consensus, you open the door to becoming part of a wave so massive it changes the game entirely. It is the movement of the few who choose transformation, not just for themselves, but for the countless others who live under systems that stifle, silence, and suffocate. So what will it take to unleash that $100 billion social enterprise this decade? It takes radical courage to unlearn what you've been told about success. It's fierce conviction to stand apart and be misunderstood. It demands building a network not of many, but of the few. The rare individuals who burn with insatiable hunger for meaningful change and know that they can't do it alone. It requires adopting an eternal mindset that plays the long game, understands failure is fuel, and celebrates steady, fierce progress over flash. It asks for a new kind of capital, patience, alignment, and partnership. And it urgently calls for technologies and systems designed to liberate people, not trap them under old models. Why now? Because the old world is collapsing around us. The illusions of freedom, equality, and progress are crumbling under the weight of systemic failure and human despair. This moment is raw, risky, and ripe with potential. It is the time to build bold, honest, and radically different enterprises capable of generating $100 billion, not just in revenue, but in shared impact and liberation. The future isn't waiting. It is screaming for those willing to burn the rulebook and forge paths not yet dreamed of. The fire inside every founder, investor, leader, and professional watching this right now has everything needed to spark this change. This decade is not for the faint of heart. It's a call to arms, a dare to hold the tension between massive ambition and deep purpose, to connect with others who refuse to settle, to build infrastructure for the exceptional in a world designed to erase it. When the few come together, with clarity, courage, connection, and commitment, the impossible becomes inevitable. The world's first $100 billion social enterprise will be the beacon of that future reborn. Not a single giant stepping forward alone, but a network of giants rising together. The question is not if, it's will you be among those who make it happen starting now?